Hi, this is Patrick. We'll try to go over some basic formula writing for the Metastock software. As you can see, I already have the Metastock open and I'm looking at the S&P 100 index. No matter what I'm working on, Expert Advisor, System Tester, or Exploration, I just usually create an indicator first. I usually click on Tools, Indicator Builder, then New. Just type in a name there. Here I'll just start typing close, then I click on OK, close this window, and I just attach the indicator. Then I double click on the close line, click on the formula tab, and then I just edit the formula from there. The reason I do this is so that as soon as I make a change, for example here I just replaced close by high, I can click on apply and automatically see if my formula is written properly. Either syntax errors, or make sure that it actually returns a value at all. I'm not going to go over the basics of how to use the Metastock software. If you need help with that, you should be watching the webinar. There's a link to it in the forum. I might go a little too fast for some of you, but you can always ask questions on the forum, and there will be many more of those training videos as we progress and get up to speed. I'll also spare you the math operators. I figure most of you already know what the plus, the minus, the multiply and divide signs are and what they do. First thing to look at are the data arrays available in the software. You've got the close, you've got the high, the low, and the open. You also have the volume and the open interest. You'll notice that I put a semicolon at the end of each line. That tells the software to plot a line for each one of those data arrays. So if I click on apply right now, you will see 6 different lines. Of course, this is an index, so there's no volume and no open interest. So you've got 2 lines at the 0 level right now. I'm going to delete them. Click on apply, and now I've got 4 lines: the open, high, and the low, and the close. Other values that I consider to be price arrays are the typical price, the function is typical open close parentheses, and the median price. Let me remove the open, high, low, close here. If you click on functions, software has different functions available categorized. And if we select data arrays here, you can see close, current indicator, high, low, open, open interest, previous value, and volume. The reason I consider the typical price and the median price to be price arrays is because they're a combination of the open, high, low, and close. Let me just click on apply on this. Okay, let's close this indicator builder, and let's zoom in the chart a little bit and take a look at this. Okay, now let me create another indicator. I'll just click on Tools, Indicator Builder, New again. Let's call it Test-Check. Alright, the typical price is the high plus the low plus the close. Oops. Plus the close divided by 3. Let me click on OK. Let's close this window. Let's apply it on the chart in its own window so we can quickly compare. So this is the typical price. Let me put a semicolon to create another line. And the median price is the high plus the low divided by 2. Now let me click on apply. Let's close this indicator window. Let's close also this empty inner window. Let's drag this down a little. Alright, let's change my check indicator to be blue. Let's change the other one as well. Alright. Now if I drag and drop this indicator on top of this one, you'll see that they match perfectly. So it's good to remember that the typical price is the high plus the low plus the close divided by 3, and the median price high plus low divided by 2. It will avoid you from, or save you from, typing some extra lines of codes. You've noticed that I typed in H for the high and then L for the low, and this is the exact same thing as if you wrote out the whole word: high, low, close, open. Volume is V, of course, and then open interest is OI. Let me just click on apply, and you'll see that works. I know. Alright, now that we've reviewed the different price arrays available in the software, let's just edit this formula. Let's delete all this. Usually people start by writing a filter for their explorations, and I think it is the most useful tool, and it's the easiest thing to start with. We get a lot of requests asking how to filter securities by a specific volume or by a specific price. So let's start with the very easy one first. Let's say I wanted to filter stocks that are in the price range of $20 and $50. So let's say I want to look for stocks that are currently trading within $50 and $20. So I'm looking for the close value. So the first thing I'm going to write is close, and then I want to find out if they're greater. So I'm going to use the greater than sign. I can use greater than equal if I want the price to also be equal to 50 or 20, and I'm going to just write 50. So close greater than equal 50, and if I left the formula like that, the program would say if close is greater than equal 50, plot 1. If close is less than 50, plot 0. So if close greater than equal 51, else 0. I don't need to write it out. It's actually possible to write if close greater than equal 50, comma 1, comma 0, close parenthesis. That does the exact same thing. It's just a waste of time. The Metastock language assumes that if there is a condition and you do not specify the different resulting values, that you want a 1 when it's true and a 0 when it's false. Let me just apply this, and you'll see that we get an indicator. Let me just delete the old indicator we had in there, and I deleted the wrong one. Let's just reapply it quickly. Yeah, that was not very quick, but can deal with it. Okay, now you'll see that you've got an indicator that's flat. Oh, of course the index is at 500, so let's just modify this a little bit to just be close greater than 500. And that shows you why it's important to double check your formula, and one of maybe the best reasons to work everything as an indicator first. So you can see our indicator is oscillating between 0 and 1. And every time the indicator is at 1, the price is greater than 500, and you can visually double check that by plotting an horizontal line directly on your chart, and then just zoom in into the part of your chart that's actually got some activity, and then use the crosshairs to pinpoint the levels where it crossed, above and below the 500 line. Alright, so that was easy. So if I wanted to do a filter where I want the price to be greater than 500 and I wanted less than, so the close value to be less than, less than 1000, I just have to write it this way. Then click on apply to make sure I've got the syntax correct and that it actually works on my chart. So close greater than equal 500 and close less than equal 1000. That if I use this formula as a filter in an exploration, will return every single stock that matches this criteria. So we know the formula is accurate. Let me just copy this. So I usually just highlight the formula, press Ctrl C on your keyboard, close this window, then I click on the binoculars, and I click on New, give a name, so Patrick Price Filter. Then I go to the filter column here, press Ctrl V, paste it, click on OK, and I'm done. You don't have to, follow this algorithm. You don't have to start writing everything as an indicator, but I would recommend it as, let me just show you an example here quickly. I just click on the binoculars, I click on New, I call it Patrick Small Filter, and then I go to the filter column, and I'm going to write close greater than equal 50 and C less than 1000 or 100. Then I click on OK. Then I click on close. So let's say I run my exploration now, and I'm running that exploration on 10,000 stocks, right? After 10 minutes of the exploration running, I'm finally looking at the reports, and I see securities that don't match whatsoever what I was looking for. I'm going to have to reopen the Explorer list, double click on the indicator itself, take a look at the formula, figure out what I did wrong, and that's a lot of extra process that you wouldn't have to go through if you just had checked the formula right away as an indicator and just copied and pasted. Alright, so I wrote if close greater than equal 500 and close less than 1000. More realistically, what people would do is, okay, don't give me any securities that are traded at less than $10. I don't want any penny stocks, and don't give me any securities that trade more than $100 a share, because I'm not that rich yet. So if you want to take a look at this, you might use it to filter out a lot of the stocks you're working with to begin with. Alright, let's click on apply. Make sure this works. Another question that comes up a lot is I want securities that have a moving average or a volume moving average greater than X. First thing is, well, what's a moving average, or what's a simple moving average? It's the sum of an array over X amount of periods divided by that X amount of periods. There's a sum function in software, and you know what, let's grab it from the functions list. Let me just click on functions. Let's just click here over on this side and type in. If I type in S, U, M, it gives me the summation function there. Here I've got paste argument selected and show English name selected. Here it shows me the actual functions or the syntax for the Metastock code. If I click on OK, it will just paste everything in it. So the function is sum, data array, and time periods. Here I've got to replace data array by my data array. We've talked about data arrays. You've got the open, idle, close, but it could be any other indicator you could calculate. We'll get into that later. Right now we'll just do sum volume, comma. Now let's say I wanted an average over 10 periods. I just replace the periods by 10. So we said an average is the sum of a data array over X amount of periods divided by X amount of periods. So I've got to divide this by 10. So sum volume, comma 10 divided by 10 is a simple moving average of the volume over 10 periods. So if I click on apply, click on OK, and if I actually pick a security with volume, that would work out better. Let's just open up another chart that actually has volume in it. Alright, finally, okay. So I opened up the NYSE total volume. Apparently it's got some volume data. I'm not sure what it's supposed to represent. But let me just apply this indicator on it. So this is sum of the volume over 10 periods divided by 10. Now Metastock already has a moving average function, but let's just make sure that Metastock does it properly. And I'll go through the extra step of going through the functions list. So here again, just remember, click on this and type in MO, V, and you see moving average. Here it shows you the function as it should be written in Metastock. Here you can select paste arguments or not, then click on OK. Here again I've highlighted the semicolon, so I put a semicolon to tell the software to plot two lines, right? Telling it to plot that sum volume 10 divided by 10, and then plot that moving average data array periods, and then this is method. We'll talk about it in a second. So data array, so we want a moving average of the volume. I'll just type in V for volume. It's the exact same thing as typing the whole word. You know what? I like it abbreviated, so I'll fix it here as well. Periods, we said we wanted a 10 period moving average. So I'll just type in 10 again. Here this is method. Method, E is for exponential, S is for simple, T is for time series, tri is for triangular, var is for variable, W for weighted, and vol for volume adjusted. I'm not going to explain what each one of these are, but if you really want to know and if you want to learn more about it, I would recommend looking at the technical analysis from A through Z book that you can read online from the Eclipse website. I might put a link for it on the forum. Right now we're just talking about simple moving average, so I can type in S or I can type in simple. Same with the other one. I can type in E or I can type in exponential if I know how to spell it. Anyways, I'll just type in S for simple, then I'll click on apply, and then I'll click on OK or close. And as you can see, it looks like I only have one line on my chart. The reason is because they're exactly the same thing. Now if I put my cursor on it, you'll see that the data window shows up with two values. The values are identical. The first one is my custom homemade moving average, and the second one is using the Metastock function. The whole point of this moving average discussion was for us to create a filter that would find securities that have a specific type of volume. So we wanted a volume greater than its moving average. So let's say V greater than moving average of the volume over the last 10 periods on the simple method, which is just a 10 period moving average of the volume. Now let me just add something. So I want volume greater than moving average of the volume, but I also want the volume to be greater than 10,000. So I'm going to put a space here and type in the word and then here I'm going to type in V. So I've got to repeat the data array again, or V or volume. Again, it doesn't matter which one you use. Greater than, equal, and then 10,000. One warning about this, with Reuters data link data, the local data that is stored on your hard drive is automatically divided by 100. So if I wanted to look for a volume that was greater than equal 10,000, as I just typed on my screen, I would have to actually divide that number by 100 to match my local data. So I would just write volume greater than equal 100, which actually means on local data from Reuters data link, volume greater than equal 10,000. Alright, now I'll just click on apply. And I know my formula is correct. I can see my indicator going from 1 to 0. I can actually close this and double check that it's accurate. I can plot a moving average from the software itself. Moving average, if I can find it somewhere. Hidden price, moving. Ah, missed it. Damn it. I'm lost. Alright, and to double check, I can apply the moving average from the indicator quick list of Metastock. Now, since I'm going to apply it on the volume, I need to drag and drop the moving average on top of the volume and wait until the volume bars turn purple. Let me just show you again. You see, if I move my cursor away, the volume bars are blue. Now if I put my cursor on top of the bar, they turn purple. So now I let my mouse button go, change the parameters to 10, so 10 periods, method simple, price field indicator here. Indicator meaning whatever I've selected, and I've selected the volume. Vertical shift in percentage is how much higher. Like, let's say I want the moving average of the volume plus 10%. I would just type in 10. It would actually vertically move my indicator up by 10%. You can do it within the formula by just saying moving average of the volume, comma 10, comma simple, plus 10%, or you know what, actually you can just multiply it by 1.1. That would just add 10% to it. So let's just click on OK.